Hello peeps, welcome to my channel, welcome to my studio, and welcome to this little tutorial on making a tapering ladders cane. That's what I call it. Now, I came up with this little cane. It was kind of almost an accident, but what I would like to say is it's quite simple to do, and I think once you make it and you make beads like this, it's really a very effective and a very nice looking piece. Yes, so that's what we're going to do. Now, this cane was originally in a members classroom video. I taught how to make the cane, how to make the beads, and then how to make a 4-strand necklace using the beads. This is sort of an abbreviated version of that class. I'm just going to show you how to make the actual cane. So, I think that's all. I think we've got some beads to make. Well, first, of course, we have to make the cane. All right, so let's make our cane. Now, this is the original one I made. This is the original bead. Look at the difference in the color. That translucent got very yellow. Yeah, very. So, one way you can counteract the yellowing and the translucent is to actually throw some violet. Some violet in the translucent, and it reduces the yellowing by quite a bit. So, you know, maybe if I do this again in translucent, I will throw a bit of violet in the translucent clay so it turns less yellow. Okay, so that makes sense, right? The yellow's complementary of, the violet's complementary of yellow. It's going to knock it down. We're going to make ours in black and white. Now, I made a mistake in this cane. Can you see it? I bet you can. You guys are very sharp eagle eyes. It's right here. I kind of forgot to put a white sheet there as I had in every other case. Does it bother me? Only a little, because when I went to make beads, I found that it's really not that noticeable. But also, maybe I will purposely do this in another cane, you know. Kind of looks like a comb, right? Well, what would happen if everyone looked like a comb instead of a spear, like that spear? Without that second line, it starts looking like something else. Okay, that's for another time. But you can see where my mistake was. Okay, so what you're going to need is you're going to need approximately 4 ounces of your 2 colors. I'm using black and white. These 2 packages will be used to make a simple striped slab, which is the foundation for this very, very simple class. The difficulty in this class is always remembering to put the sheets in, like I forgot that. That is a reflection, probably. That's not because the cane's difficult. That's probably because the cane's so simple that I forgot it. Okay, if that makes sense. So I'm going to condition these. Then I'll be back. All right, peeps. So these are conditioned. The black was a little bit stiffer than the white, so I went ahead and added some blackout. You guys know blackout is also a clay softener, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, which means you have to use a little bit of caution when you use the blackout because it is a really, really good clay softener. All right, so what I've got here, my 2 sheets, you can see, look how square they are. Yeah, so I kind of tried to make them more square rather than like long and skinny strips. Okay, so putting one on top of the other. Let's just trim it. Trim. Maybe this is not necessary. I do it anyway. I think it helps me. Helps me. Okay, so I'm going to make it as big as I can possibly make it. Yeah, like that. And of course, you want to separate all of this, right? Yeah. Trust me, you do. You might need this little bit of white here. Or this little bit of black. It's possible. You could need it. What? Maybe you don't need this, though. Okay, that goes in the scrap. I like this little cane. It's easy. And my canes tend to look very precise. I don't exactly know why. But sometimes I'd like to make something that's a little less precise. All right. Ta-da. Okay, and just for kicks and giggles, I'll tell you how big it is. I think I better clean my ruler. 4 5/8 by, almost 4 1/2. Okay, so let me roll this through the pasta machine. I'm gonna make a loaf out of this. And I didn't want to make the stripes or the rungs in the ladder. Let's just call those rungs. I didn't want to make them really, really thick, okay? Now, I don't know why. It's not a wrong thing. I could make them very wide. Let me think about this. I mean, I haven't scaled it up at all. Okay. I made the scale of the rungs and the ladder kind of medium, not really, really fine, but not very bold either. And I didn't make the rings different thicknesses. They're all the same. What am I going to do? What to do? Do I want to give it a go? What's it going to look like? Am I going to regret that decision? Or am I going to create something I like a lot? Wait, let me look at the bead. Okay, just imagine that these are twice the thickness. Each one of these is twice. But then this line, the white, see that white? It would be twice the thickness at least as well. So the pattern gets way more bold. Way more. Okay, let's do it. Why not? Okay, so the way this was made was by rolling this through the pasta machine to make the rungs half this thickness. Once that was done, I did what follows. Okay, I think you guys know because you've done this enough. Now, to make it a little bit easier, what I've done is I cut a 2-inch square. I have square cutters somewhere in my studio, but I can't find them. So let's just do this. This is easy enough. I'm just going to start stacking. And I'm hoping that this does the trick. Because inevitably, someone at home will roll their sheet and it will be a completely different shape. Oh, help me. Okay, so I'm going to put the paper side down. Yeah, the paper side down. Okay. Let me just stack these squares up. Just stack them up. Hi, Vernon.
Hi, hon.
I'm shooting. Everybody, Vernon in the house. Yeah, he's literally in. Oh, Louie. Louie's outside barking. I forgot about Louie again. Okay, so I've got my little squares. I hope this is enough squares for what I'm trying to do. Who knows, I might need a few more. Actually, it's possible. Okay. So this seems a little short. See, I need it to be that tall. So what I'm going to do is cut this in half. Let me use a ruler, because if I go way off, it could be a problem. It could be a problem. Okay, 1 inch there. Okay, let's trim this. Now, there are two ways I could go about finishing this cane. One is stand it up this way and cut and create the cane so that it's tall like this. The other way is to create the cane short like this. Now, of course, the advantage to tall is that it's easier. This is easier ultimately to reduce and stretch out. Thing about this is easier to make, and I have more material to work with. My inclination is to do this, make it tall. I'm going to make it tall like this, and we'll see what happens. You see, if you make it short like this, you can lose an awful lot of cane, because look, it's only, your cane would only be that thick, right? All right, so let's build this way. Now I am going to condition my white and my black clays because I've got to construct the background, right? The background. The clay's kind of sticky today. It is. It's sticky, sticky, sticky. Can I separate it? No. I'm not going to work too hard at this because I also need scrap clay. I do. Okay, I'll be back. I just have to condition these 2 blocks of clay. Okay, so I'm ready to start putting the cane together. You know, I think I'm going to make this a bit wider by flattening this, and it's very tall. If I could make something that was just a little bit shorter than this, I'd be happy. Plus, it gives me a little more to work with when I'm putting my cane together. Okay. Just make it a little bit wider. Okay, so that's good. That's good. Okay, now shall I make a black ladder in white or a white ladder? This is a white ladder in black. A black ladder. Let's do the reverse. Let's do a black ladder in white so you can see what that looks like. Now, this has been rolled through the thickest setting of the pasta machine. It is too thick, IMO. So I am going to roll this through setting number 2, thin it out. It doesn't have to be exactly the same thickness, although that is kind of close. So the easiest way for me is to make the cane off of this block. Okay, so I'm going to just take it and press it like so. Rather than cutting the ladder pieces. It's just simpler to do it this way. So that is one side of the ladder. Now I have to cut the ladder, so I'm going to straighten this out, and I like cutting it like that, angled. So I'm going to mark, and then on this side it's going to be wider, like that. So I'm going to do the walking down these marks that I've done before with other canes. So this is, when I connect them, this is what it's going to look like. That's what the wedge is going to look like. Okay, so let me walk it down. Oops, see, I'm a little tight. It's okay. Walk down on this side, walk it down on this side, walk down on this side. I think it's really helpful to do that because you can cut too much away. You know, it's not like one of these critical, very precise kind of canes you're making. But nonetheless, you can go wrong. I've cut too much away at times. Okay, so there's the beginning. All right, now let's put the other side of the ladder on. Now this is what I forgot to do on that particular piece. Like this. Okay, just like that. So here's a black ladder. It's a black ladder. And I'm going to set this in a white field. So the next thing I have to do is take my white clay. Now, do I want a lot of white in between, or do I want a little? This is kind of nice. This, I can't remember what the setting for this was. Let me roll it through again. All right, so here's setting number 2, which is the same as this. So that's what this would look like. And then you would have another ladder on the other side. So do I want it bigger? So I'll leave it the same. I'll leave it the same, just to make things easy. Okay, so let me, and it's got this clay, this white clay has a lot of black on it. Doesn't really matter because it's going to be pressed up against black anyway. All right. Now it's time for another ladder. So I like to put it back the way it was, like so. Oops, see, I almost did it again. I need black. Oh. Oh, I'm glad I caught that. Okay, so. Like that. Now I'm going to put this back together like so. Like this, and I have to cut the ladder again, so it's going to be thin at this end and wider at this end. How about that? Let's connect the two. It's gonna be like that. That's what it's gonna look like. walk it down, walk it down, walk, 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 walk. Okay, like so. Now I need black. Black. Then I need white. Then I need white. White. Oh. Then I need black. Black. Then I need the ladder. And it's going to be going off this way again. Okay. Something like that. Mark. Mark and cut. Walk it down. Okay, so I think you guys get the idea. You also see how easy it is to forget something. All right, now what happens next? You know, black. So let me finish this up. You don't have to watch me, but you can see how this piece that was so narrow, I did make it a bit wider, but how this piece can turn into this wider cane because we keep adding these sheets of black and white between them. Right? Okay, now we need white. I'm glad I did it the other way so you could see what it looks like and see whether you want to do this way or that way. This way or that way. I have to roll this into a sheet again. I'll be back. Okay, peeps, so this is what I've made so far. This is what remains of my stripes. This is what remains of the white. And this is all I have left in black. Okay, so the reason why you would, you would think, oh, why is she out of black? It's because on both sides of the rungs of the ladder are black, black. And in between, there's only one sheet of white. That's why, so I'm actually physically using less white than black. Okay, so that's all right. Pretty much squared off. I think it's fine. I am going to put one last sheet of white on the end, and I'm going to call it good. I'm calling it good. There we go. Yeah. Okay. This is my leftover. This is it. So this was plenty of ladder. If I had more black, I could put one more ladder on, and, that'd be fine. But I don't think it's necessary, so I won't. Just set that aside. So you can see this different scales of these two pieces. So let us first start by cutting This is also, by the way, the stuff I have left over from when I made this guy. Okay, that one too. I could probably separate them. I'm gonna do something. Oh, here's more. here's more. All right. So let's just first square it off. See how messy that is on the bottom? On the bottom. So I'm just going to just try to tidy it up just a bit. Not very much, actually. Okay, this is good. That's my scrap pile. I'm going to need scrap clay. Turn it over, see how messy the top is? Yeah, messy, 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 messy. Okay, so let's give this a little bit of this. Let's trim you up too. Very good. I need scrap. All right, let me reduce this a bit. Start by squeezing, because obviously not a square. Okay, turn you over. So it's imprecise, but that's what I was going for. All right. I'm glad I did the bold one, because I hadn't really, you know, this is like my go-to scale, especially when I'm making like that, right? And so I'm glad I'm doing this just to show you guys what it looks like scaled up. Oh, little bit schmutzy here. Schmutz. Is it going to matter? You know what? In my opinion, no. Okay, so here's the thing about is it going to matter or not? Sometimes I have to ask myself, okay, is it laziness or does it really not matter? Huh. Am I lowering my standards or does it really not matter? Okay, so one thing about caning like this, when you have schmutz on the side of a cane, if you're really going to reduce it up, that schmutz gets so thin. I'm not going to say it's invisible, because that little black is going to be some kind of gray streak, even if I reduce it like a mile out. Okay, maybe not a mile out. A mile is really long. But chances are you might see it. Now, is it going to be an issue or a problem? I don't know. Maybe in a face it might be. But maybe in a cane where there's so much going on that you can't see any specific anything about the cane, you wouldn't notice that. You just wouldn't notice it. Now, we work with a material that's quite clean, right? It's clean. I mean, I tried pottery one semester in college, and you know what I got? Dirty. I never learned how to center a pot, and I trailed pottery dust, clay dust. It was a miserable experience for me. Miserable. Miserable. I hated cutting the clay. You know, you have to take it to a wire and you keep cutting it to try to get rid of any air in the clay. And then, God forbid, there's air in the clay. Can you put it in the kiln and it explodes? It explodes, yeah. I like polymer clay a lot better. A lot. I'm going to reduce it to this size. This size has been working for me with this cane. Now, what is this size? Okay, let me measure it. I'll measure it. It is 1 1/4 inch square. So let me just start stretching it. Yeah, I was all wrong for ceramic clay. Plus, I don't think I would, I don't know, not being able to see what you're doing in color is, I'm just not sure I have the capability. You know, I wouldn't say it wasn't just simply not liking the process. I don't know if I have the ability, if I had the ability to do that. I never discount that as a possibility. Can't do everything, can't climb Mount Everest, maybe just can't do pottery either. But I can clay. All right, I'm pretty happy. Okay, you guys ready? Ready, Freddy? Ready, Teddy. Let's take a cut off the end. I'll get more scrap clay, which I need. I wasn't paying any attention to how I was reducing. See, it's sucked in the middle there. I was not, but I need a lot of scrap clay. Yeah, it's a good start. Okay, so here's the better side. You know, I like these. I don't know what they remind me of. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, you see the large scale and the small scale. Now let's make a bead. Luckily for us, I happen to have scrap clay rolled out. Let's cut a slice. I'm going to use the blue blade for this. It's nice and sharp. I'm going to try to make this about between 1 and 2 millimeters. Cut straight down. I think that's okay. That's pretty good. Now, this little cylinder is, let me measure it. It is about 1, 2. It's almost half an inch. 1, 2, 3, 4. What the heck have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4/8. 4/8. No, it can't be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What am I looking at here? What increment of 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is like a centimeter. I have to look at this ruler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. So the bottom measurement are eighths. 1, 2, 3. So that is 6, 7 16ths. Where did I get this wacky ruler? Okay, we're moving on. All right. Wacky. I'm just going to take this and wrap it around. Oopsie, space. I have to cut another slice and fill that in. For these particular beads, oh, using the wrong blade. I don't worry a lot about the fit. Maybe I should, but I don't. Okay, I haven't been anyway. All right, so this is basically 1 unit of a bead. Now, if you're going to make tons and tons and tons of beads, lots of them, and you want them the same size, probably the best thing is to make them and just set them up like that. And then if you have something that's like a lot larger, you can just cut the end off a little bit, like, and maybe make them all the same height. You know, I don't know that it's critical that they're all the same exact. They're not going to be the same exact size. I mean, I haven't been able to do it. Okay, so let's turn this into a bead. First, smooth the sides just by rolling back and forth like that. Let's look at where I put a little piece in to fill the space. It's right here. It's kind of weird. I don't care. I think it's fine. I do. I think it's fine. Okay, I'm going to stand it up. I'm going to put the hole in with my little doll needle. This is a doll needle, I believe. It's long. All right, let's close the end. So in this regard, it's very much like making those bone hair pipe beads, right? Work this right on the needle. Flip it over, close the other end. Then taper the ends. Now, you could make beads like this shape too, kind of nice. But I'm going to stretch it out so we can see how they look. Drop it down. What I'm doing now is just tapering here. Like so. All right, so here is the smaller scale and the larger scale. I like them both, actually. I wonder how they'd be mixed. This is also a black ladder in white, and this is a white ladder in black. Okay, now I'm just going to loosen it, slide it off, and make about 40 more. It takes a lot. Okay, I'll be back. It's going to take me a while. Well, here we are at the end of our little tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you make this cane, and I hope you make a lot of beads, because I think they're really handsome. So anyway, that's kind of it. I don't have anything else. Let's see, bracelet. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, there you go. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and if you did, I hope you'll like it, and I hope you subscribe. And you know what? If you know anybody who you think would like to see it, please share. So until we meet again, I'm Donna, and I'm signing off. Bye.